Well, we all know what is happening around the world. There is the coronavirus, there is talks of recession, there's people working from home, there are those who are actually out of a job. There is a lot happening around the world. But the bottom line is, all these things happening across the world means that there'll be a lot less money coming into the pockets of you and me. But despite all these and economic warnings, there seems to be one particular group of people who seem to be walking in some level of faith that we are yet to get there. Yep, I'm talking about smartphone manufacturers who are still launching devices and planning to launch other devices despite all that is happening. So, why exactly is this happening? Let's talk about that. Alright, see, so literally just the other day, Apple launched the new iPhone SE. This is literally a 40K smartphone that looks like the iPhone 8 but has the power of the new, much more expensive iPhone 11. But we are not here to talk about the iPhone. We're actually here to address the whole issue of smartphone manufacturers and their faith to continue making phones. So Apple is just one of them. Techno are actually launching the Camon 15, which is also a budget camera-centric phone. There's Infinix with the Note 7. There's Oppo with the Reno 3. There's Vivo Mobile, which seems to be launching a phone. I'm not sure which one, but I've just seen some ads floating around. There's Samsung, which recently as much as the S20 series was launched a while back in the whole world, it started selling in Kenya right before the coronavirus pandemic hit. And right now, when everyone is encouraged to work from home, Samsung is trying to push for sales. So we add them to this list. And then there's Huawei with the Y7P. Yeah, it's actually a Google-less phone, but we're also again not talking about that. And also the P40 series that was launched amidst all this pandemic. Then there's OnePlus, the OnePlus A, there's Google with the upcoming Pixel 4a, there's Motorola, there's LG, there's Sony. Yeah, Sony still makes phones. See, this whole thing of manufacturers still making phones is not about money. It's not about them trying to make money. It's not about them trying to squeeze you out of your hard-earned cash, the money that you need to reserve right now. But it's actually more about order. Well, let me explain. See, there is a particular order in which manufacturers launch their phones. There is the first quarter, they launch a certain kind of phones. Then we go to the second quarter, the third quarter, and the fourth quarter. So we'll give an example of Apple. The iPhone usually launches around September, and that has been the tradition for years and years to come. So despite all this pandemic and all the factories that have been shut down in China, yes, the iPhone is made in China. Despite all those factories that have been shut down, Apple needs to find a way to still launch the iPhone within its set period. This is because the iPhone, as much as it's the 2020 iPhone, which we assume will be the iPhone 12, will be launching in 2020, it was designed much earlier. Like, these companies, not just Apple, have plans. You get? They don't just do things out of the blues. Phones are designed over a long period of time. I can tell you this for sure, that the next year's iPhone and next year's Samsung flagship, the Note, the S, all of those phones are already in design. You get, like, these companies have already thought ahead. They already know, hey, next year we want to put this kind of feature on our phones. Next year we want to release this kind of phone. So if, and I'm just saying if, they decide that they won't launch any of these phones this year, well, you can see the potential disaster that brings, because it will be like carrying over some load, like, hey, here we have last year's phone that we are taking to this year. That is not viable for them. So they would rather actually just squeeze all the resources they have and still release phones. Like I mentioned, the iPhone is still planned for September, as much as there's a delay that has been reported whereby the phone might actually come in November, December. There is highly likely that phone will have to launch this year. Samsung, on the other hand, is coming up with the Samsung Galaxy Note 20, and that series as well will be coming around August. So as much as there might be a delay, maybe we'll see it in September, but I tell you this for sure, that phone is coming. And like I explained, this is because there is an order. There's a way things work. Phones have to be sold. These companies are answerable to their owners, they're answerable to their shareholders, as much as they will probably not make that much money. Trust me, like no one is going to buy phones as much as they've bought before. There's even reports already indicating that, hey, people are not buying phones, like seriously. And this is expected to run throughout the year because for all this time that people have spent at home, there's little money coming in. So people are less likely to give out their money to get new products. So these companies know this, trust me, they know this, but they're only releasing these phones because the order has to be maintained. You know, the S21 has to come out, if it will be S21. The iPhone 13 has to come out, and for those to come out, it means there needs to be an S20 or a Note 20. There needs to be an iPhone 12 for we to have an iPhone 13. The reason why you're seeing these phones still launching is really not because these companies are greedy, but it's because there needs to be an order and things need to continue. Life needs to move on. But before I go, I have one question for you. Are you, or why you, okay, let's just say in case you are actually planning to buy a phone this year, are you still planning to do that? And are you, that person, you who's not even thought of getting a phone, would you actually consider buying a phone this year, in the year of the coronavirus? Well, get down in the comment section and let us know. Alright? Sawa sawa. My name is Sauri Miner and this is Gadgets Africa, and until next time, kwaheri.